Hi and welcome. I am really excited to get into this video because today I'm going to be reviewing men's natural material underwear. And if you have seen my other videos, I am very opposed to the use of synthetic materials in clothing and specifically in underwear. And this is for various health and the factor of how it feels when you're wearing it, and also the environmental factor of just how terrible synthetic materials are. So I can recap about what type of materials are synthetic. So this is elastin, spandex, nylon, acrylic, and polyester. Of course, polyester, that's the biggest one. And I think they are not great for your underwear for various reasons. And the most obvious one is just the comfort level and the breathability of the synthetics, since polyester and other synthetics, they are a crude oil derivative product where they are extracted from crude oil and basically a plastic that is being worn on your genital area. And just using common sense, you can sense that using a polyester plastic type product on your genital area can produce an uncomfortable experience because it is hot, sticky, breathable, and not really that great to have there. And that's not even mentioning the supposed health detriments that it could have. So we've eliminated the polyesters and the synthetic underwear. So then you're probably asking, what about bamboo? Because bamboo is a very hot item. If you look on Amazon, you can see that it's very pushed to be the next material for underwear. And I would have to say, think about where bamboo comes from, first of all, and then know that bamboo is a semi-synthetic fabric. So that means the first original raw source of the bamboo is a natural product, but the chemical extraction and the chemicals used to become the final product, the fabric, that is very chemical invasive and creates a semi-synthetic fabric. So that I would also discourage the use against. So the semi-synthetics and the synthetics. And another semi-synthetic is rayon, which is from a wood pulp. So we've eliminated those, and then you go into the natural materials. And the first natural material, which is the obvious choice, is cotton. And I was looking on YouTube and I was doing so much market research and trying to find out if people were talking about this topic. And I think I found 2 or 3 videos that mentioned synthetic materials for men's underwear or underwear in general. And I was commenting a lot and engaging with people to just really find out what's on people's minds for men's underwear and underwear in general. And many people ask about cotton underwear or organic cotton underwear. So I will put my views here for this video of how I've been talking to people and what they are looking for, because this is really important to me, and it seems like no one as of the end of April 2023 is speaking about this. And I've looked up all over YouTube to try and find people talking about this, so no one really is. So I'm just going to put this out here and share my opinions, share my findings, and share how I view these fabrics. So the first fabric is cotton. And so I think this is a very basic pair of men's underwear in the United States. You can see how it looks, and this is a non-organic cotton. And I think cotton is not a great material for men's underwear because cotton in itself, when it's knit in this type, let's say this is a jersey type fabric with the knit, and you can see the stretch, it's not that stretchy, so there's not that much stretch to it. So typically it is blended with an elastin or another type of synthetic to create a stretch within the knit, which is also, again, putting a synthetic fiber into your underwear. So you have to be very careful with blends. And again, with cotton, with moisture, it tends to stick to the cotton. So cotton becomes wet and uncomfortable. It doesn't wick it away, which is how they can sell the synthetic materials as performance wear and moisture wicking, because it's a plastic that, I guess if you think of a raincoat is plastic and it wicks away the moisture. And so cotton, it gets wet, it gets smelly, it just doesn't really, in my opinion, do the job very well for when you're wearing it. And also cotton is one of the highest pesticide-laden products. So you need to make sure that you are getting organic cotton to not have all the chemicals and the pesticides in the production of the cotton. I also think that cotton is a monoculture crop, and we all can agree the history of cotton plantations is not that great. So there's also that aspect of the cotton to think about the production and the synthetic use, not synthetic, the pesticide use, and that encompasses the cotton. So I'm gonna jump into then once you work through the regular conventional cotton. So these are some regular conventional cotton. You also have longevity issues. So you can see here, this is a cotton, and there are issues with the longevity of this fabric because many companies are cost cutting their fabric quality, and it just doesn't have the same durability and quality as other materials. And also I think with cottons in conventional underwear, they can be mixed with, here there's an elastin in the front pouch area. So right where it's super important to not be having a synthetic material, you are getting a synthetic material to encase your junk, basically. And if you think about it, you're trying to protect that area from the synthetics and to have the breathability that is so important. And this is important for me because I think for men, it's a disservice that these products are not really the best that they should be. And I've been searching so long for a pair of underwear for my husband that is made from a natural material, is organic, and has the quality and factors that I want. So we've gone through the conventional cotton, and then I looked for organic cotton. So I found this brand from a German brand called Living Crafts, and this is organic cotton, but again, it's 95% organic cotton, 5% elastin, so I can show you that. And also with the cotton products, these are made in Sri Lanka, these are made in India, and just the quality is not that great, how they construct this garment. And my husband did not like this pair at all, so when you look for organic cotton, you end up with this. And this is quite a basic organic cotton boxer brief. And he said it was not very comfortable. Again, cotton is just, it gets wet and it's not that great. And they have to add a synthetic to make it stretchier. You can see this one is stretchier than this one without the elastin in it. Or I guess it kind of looks the same. But when I pull it this way, there's not too much give. And this one you can tell that there is an elastin in the weave, in the knit. So that's what you get for organic cotton. I didn't go too far in my research for the organic cotton because it was kind of a waste of money to buy it if my husband didn't really enjoy the product. So then I went from cotton to look into hemp. So here's a pair of hemp, which it's already quite faded. This quality is not very good. It's from Wama, I would say Wama. And the thing with these brands is I find this a lot with ones that are on the American market, and I did not just look on the American market for natural underwear. I was sourcing or trying to source from wherever I could find, even importing from Europe. So the Living Crafts is actually from a German company, but they still produce in India. So this one thing I don't like about these companies is designed in the USA, made in China, which is just basically, let's say it's made in China and you just said that you wanted a men's pair of underwear and you want to see the cheapest that they can produce in their factory, and you didn't really I don't think you put too much thought into it. You just wanted the fabrics they had, you wanted it cheap, and you wanted to sell it high, and you're not thinking about your customer in the product. So this one, the material content is 53% hemp, which hemp you're not going to find being produced in the United States. So anything that's hemp is produced externally from the United States. 44% organic cotton, and then still 3% spandex. And you can see this pair is not very old and it's already fading. Like, I don't really like the smell of the elastic. It smells quite chemically. You can also see here the stretch, which I think when you look into the weave and knit of one that has elastin or spandex in it, you can kind of see the plastic filaments in there when it's stretched out. It's also the same with stretched jeans. You can see the plastic, which I've worn out a lot of pair of underwear, especially in the lace, because women's underwear has a lot of the use of spandex and these synthetic materials. The little plastic fibers start to fray and spill, and I don't think that's good to have on your skin. Because My theory with these synthetic materials is a good way to look at it is we care, or if you are into the health community, you care about what you ingest, you care about what you put into your body, but you can slack about what you put on your body. But your skin is your largest organ. Your skin, it is permeable, it absorbs things, it absorbs what you put on it. And I find it very fascinating that we care about what we put in, we care about the origin of our food, where it comes from, where it is sourced. But when it comes to our clothing materials, we are not questioning what ingredients is the fabric made out of, where was this produced, where were the raw materials produced in this product. And I think we should be asking those questions. I ask those questions and I research and I try to find a great pair of underwear, and the market is not really providing that. So we have the hemp, which is made in China, designed in the United States, which I still do not think this is a great pair of underwear. It also has the same issue with the cotton because it's still 40% cotton where it gets wet and it's just like not that great. So, and with the synthetics, I've been asking so many of my friends to tell me what their boyfriends, their husbands, they wear for underwear, and many have told me that they like a thin polyester blend because it's thin so it breathes better, and it's polyester, which seems kind of hypocritical to me because polyester just doesn't breathe, or it's not great at breathing, but you want it thinner to at least provide some airflow, which to me that just says it's cost cutting to use even cheaper materials than what it's just mostly cost cutting, and it's benefiting the company and the corporation and the factories producing these things, and it's not benefiting you, the consumer. Then I am leaving out linen and silk. I did not purchase linen or silk boxers. I did go into a Neiman Marcus to see what type of underwear they had. I even asked the sales rep there at the store to recommend natural materials. He looked very baffled by the question I was asking him, that no one's really asked this. He didn't have a proper answer, but he directed me to Tom Ford, who produces a silk boxer, which I think sells for $175, and it still has a synthetic material mixed in. And I just think, for me, with my experience with silk is quite cold. It's also not great with moisture. Sure, it's breathable. In the summer, it's great to wear because it's lightweight, but I think for a pair of underwear, it is not the best fabric to be using. Linen, I don't have too much experience with linen underwear. My initial thoughts with linen, again, with the wetness and the moisture wicking, but also just linen's a little rougher. It's a little more, I think it's great for dresses and skirts, but I wouldn't necessarily want that in the genital region if I'm thinking for a man. And also, usually linen is a woven fabric. I haven't really seen a knit linen, so I wouldn't think it would have the same stretch and the growing factor for the fabric, because it's typically a woven fabric. So it's going to be a looser fit, and when I'm asking men what they're interested in, they say they want support. So that is my thoughts on linen. So then I moved into wool, and wool is my favorite material for underwear, especially now when you can create a nice knit and it's stretchy, and it's like, wool is great with moisture, it is breathable, it is anti-odor. So I think it is the best material you can find for underwear. So I started looking at what is on the American market, and I was up to 3 a.m. multiple nights trying to find men's underwear in wool. And of course, I think the first brand you find when you are looking is Icebreaker. So this is this model here, and it's 175 GSM, I believe, or gram or wool per square, whatever. And so it's quite thin with 175. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's very see-through. I don't think this wool is going to last. And it's also, the construction quality here is not great. It's serged, so you have these seams that you feel. It's a thin material. It has these annoying tags, which this stuff just, it bothers me, and it bothers my husband. And so I do not think these are a very great pair of underwear. It's made in Bangladesh. It's made with really low quality wool. It's see-through. I don't think it's gonna last very long. And this is probably my least favorite pair that I've found from wool for men. So I would not recommend the Icebreaker underwear. And my other issue with this, or another brand that I was looking up, was Woolly, and their website was very difficult with their transparency, and I finally found where they source their wool, which is from Australia. but they make in China, and they say they're proud to make in China. And my issue here with these, it's another designed in America, made in China with imported wool. And my issue with these are, again, I question the durability of the fabric. They're probably using the lowest quality wool, the thinnest wool for the fabric, which does not have the longevity, which sure, wearing wool underwear will probably convert you to being a wool underwear wearer, but it still doesn't have the same quality that I think is great and needed for men's underwear. So I did not buy a pair of Woolly because I didn't want to waste the money on it to be disappointed. So you can find Woolly, they're made in China, which I think the Chinese and Bangladesh wools, they are not using a good quality wool because I don't think the sheep are necessarily treated that well. And so I think it affects the quality of the wool and the product. So that is this one. And then I found this brand, Northern Playground, which is from Norway but produced in Lithuania. And this is actually an organic wool. So that's another thing to be looking for with the wool if it's organic, because when I researched into wool and wool production, many of the non-organic wools, the sheep are treated with many pesticides to try to produce the largest raw material and to have it as quick and easy as possible. So therefore, I think this one is an organic pair with wool and silk in the blend. So that's a good thing for it. But my husband says with this one, the design is still not great. It rides up, it's not that comfy. He finds this elastic waistband not too great. So we have this wool, what's the percentage? So it is 72% organic wool, 28% silk. And the pesticides are restricted and it helps the animals, and they don't use synthetic hormones. And so they put all their benefits of the product here. But again, this one my husband was not completely happy with. He said it wasn't that comfortable, but I think of the options, you can see the fabric is still quite thin, but it's better than the one that was made in Bangladesh. So my conclusion here is men's underwear has so much room to improve. The production of the underwear is typically benefiting the factories and the companies and not the consumer, the man who is wearing the product. But I think many men have not thought about these things or questioned or thought that there can be something different. It's just kind of you buy for what is there and what is easier to find. And my conclusion is that I am going to create a men's underwear brand made out of wool. And I'm super excited about it because I have found that there is such a gap in this marketplace, and I want to produce the best pair of men's underwear to provide all of you something really great, just because I've been searching for this and I can't find something that lives up to my expectations. So I can say probably the best of these options is the Northern Playground. It is a very obscure brand to find, especially if you are importing it into the United States. And so I am going to do my best to find and create the best pair of men's underwear out of natural materials, because with all these options, still nothing is suitable or adequate. I mean, it's suitable, but it's not the best quality. So I want to have you join along with this project, and I hope that this review can help you in your search for natural underwears. And I'll see you around.